Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. Now, Israel's recent killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah may have brought a tactical win, but it has sharply escalated tensions, threatening a wider Middle Eastern conflict. With Iran's looming influence, Hezbollah's persistent threat, and millions displaced, the risk of war grows. The international community, especially Europe, must leverage diplomatic and economic influence to promote ceasefires and de-escalation. How can Israel, Hezbollah, and Iran step back from the brink of war? Joining us today on TVP World to discuss this is Abed Kanaaneh at Department of Middle Eastern and African History, Tel Aviv University. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me.
So, Israel's elimination of Nasrallah is seen as a tactical success, but how does this increase the risk of broader regional conflict?
Sure. The opening of the northern front of war on the border between Israel and Lebanon is escalating, and the war is getting stronger. I think that you are right, that the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah is a tactical victory of Israel upon Hezbollah, but in the strategic viewpoint, it doesn't really affect on the ground the forces of Hezbollah. In a few days, just a few days, dozens of casualties of Israeli soldiers were killed and injured with the conflict with Hezbollah on the border, and they are still a few meters from the Israeli-Lebanese border. So it really extreme the tense between the two sides, but it doesn't really change the main picture of this conflict.
Right. So we, like you have mentioned, have seen Hezbollah hitting back. And so my question would be, what is Hezbollah's actual capability to retaliate? And how is this going to affect Israel's northern front? Do you think this is a hit severe enough for them to halt some of their hostilities, or do you think that they are still capable of retaliation?
They are still capable, and I think that there is no military solution for this front. I'm talking to you right now from north of Israel. Yeah, I'm from Galilee, at the north of Israel, and we have all the night. We get missiles. We are bombarded by missiles from Hezbollah. And these missiles are getting deeper and deeper in North Israel. So the Israeli attack, and even the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah and other leaders of Hezbollah organization did not stop these missiles and did not affect really in a deepened way the ability of the organization to fight against Israel. I think the only solution for this escalation on the northern border, and to prevent the whole area, the whole region from regional war, is a ceasefire at the south, at Gaza Strip, and which means also a ceasefire at the north, and to enroll in political negotiations in order to get into agreement between the different sides.
All right, it sounds very horrifying, just thought of having to worry about missiles dropping on a day-to-day basis, and of course you experiencing it firsthand. Well, first of all, please stay safe out there, and thank you for sharing this experience with us. And second of all, I would like to extrapolate on that and well, perhaps get your take on it. From someone that have to experience that, how do you feel? Where do you lay, well, the blame, so to speak? Do you think that Israel should come to a negotiation table? Do you blame perhaps these action of escalation, or do you think perhaps these kind of Iranian proxy in Iran itself is something that is kind of causing the antagonizing of people north of Israel?
Well, as an Israeli citizen, I think that the main one to blame for our situation here is our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, that trying to take the war. He uses the war for his interior political situation inside Israel. It's already no one on the 7th of October 2023, a year from now, no one thought that this war will take a whole year. And now we are entering the second year. I think the main revenge, if you want, of the Israelis regarding the attack on the 7th of October, which is also has a context, But anyway, this revenge has been done for a whole 1 year of war. And I think, by the way, a lot of main goals that the extreme right government here in Israel put on front of themselves to reach in this war, they didn't reach these goals because they are not reachable. These goals are not reachable. To demolish the Hamas totally from Gaza Strip, or to bring back the people who, the refugees, the Israeli refugees from north border back to their home without a ceasefire and without an agreement. In these two main goals, they failed. The Israeli government failed during the whole year, and we are now entering the second year. I think the main responsible for our situation here at the north is the Israeli government that needs to agree to a ceasefire and to stop this war, and to start a new dynamic of a peaceful solution for the main issue. We have not to forget that the main issue that happened to make this war happen is the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. The 7th of October came on the context of Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and Israel government, especially this extreme right-wing government, trying to forget about the Palestinians. They are trying to make peace with some states in the Gulf, Arab states, who are not in a war with Israel, or they are trying to make a war with Iran and other countries, and they are just dismissing and forgetting the main issue, which is the Palestinian issue. And I think that every time that they are trying to ignoring the Palestinian issue, it will explode on our faces as Israelis and Palestinians, once and more and every time, once again.
Right. So like you mentioned, perhaps the goal that the Israeli government has set for itself is very hard to reach. And you also mentioned that you don't think a military solution could be possible. So very quick, how do you see this being solved diplomatically? Do you think in any near time in the future a ceasefire could be achieved?
I think the keys are with the United States president and administration to put pressure on the West in general, to put pressure on the Israeli government to go to a ceasefire, and I think also to put pressure on both sides. But I think the main player right now is Israel and not any other power in the region.
Right, so we'll have to see if the international pressure would be able to draw the two parties to a negotiation table. In the meantime, thank you so much for all your input and insight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being with us on TVP World, and please do stay safe. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
And thank you for watching this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.